I could do this kind of work on my own. I could start maybe a consulting company, and then I could work for a lot of different companies so that the variety would be vast and that I wouldn't get bored. So once that got in my head, I couldn't get it out. So in January of 1992, I was approved to do outside consulting for other companies as long as it didn't contain alcohol. Because of course, Brown-Forman didn't want me to compete with them, which made complete sense. So I started the company in January of 92 doing some coffee flavorings and also working on some non-alcoholic cocktail mixes. And then the next year in July of 1993, I left Brown-Forman and I started Pro-Liquitech as a full-time gig. I just knew things were going to happen. I knew things were going to be great. So I didn't have any fear. I just went forward and I wanted more of those Jack Daniels on the shelf moments, and plenty of them have come through the years. So I had found a condominium. It was residential and really probably illegal to start a company in. My number one at Brown-Forman was Sherry Jocelyn. And so I asked her if she'd like to join me, and she was all in. So after about a month, she came to the condo and worked with me, and so we were a team of two. And it was a team to be reckoned with.
So we took the living room, made it into a lab, and then we took the 2 bedrooms in the condo and turned those into offices.
Our very first project as Pro-Liquitech was working with Chiquita brands, the juice people, the banana people.
The world's most exotic fruit juices in your refrigerated section.
And then we worked for a local company. At that time, I'm not sure of the company name. It was a gentleman named Denny Weldon, who we still work for to this day after 30 years. And he wanted to do some special flavors that he could drop into coffee to make like a hazelnut flavor or a mocha coffee or any number of flavors. And so we worked with him to develop some of these coffee flavorings.
We were very impressed about what it did, and it did exactly what we were looking for. French vanilla and hazelnut and caramel cream are the biggies. Today, we've got customers that they've got to have their hazelnut or French vanilla coffee.
Just knowing that Denny Weldon is still around and as a client is, I think, a good measure of the kind of work that we do at Flavorman. So it's nice. It's like a confirmation every day to know that we're doing good work for the same client for all of those years. It says something about us.
We outgrew the condo. We needed more employees, we needed more space, and we were bringing in more clients, and we were bringing in high-profile clients.
One of our customers, Chiquita Brands, quite a large company, called me up and said, "Hey, we'd love to come down and visit your facility." And I thought, well, I don't think this 2-bedroom condo is going to do. So we hurried up and got a realtor and found some commercial space out on the east side of town so that Chiquita could come and visit.
It was much nicer to be in the commercial space, and it brought a lot more credibility.
We can make money doing product development, but it's kind of just you do it and then you're done, and it's not sustainable. The next piece of the business where we incorporated that, we went to, okay, besides just doing product development, now we do the product development, and then to keep making money for the business is we sell specialized concentrates for the beverages we designed.
And I was doing all the blending, and it was really basic, filling a bucket, filling a jug, from a spigot. There was nothing high tech about it.
Pro-Liquitech really started growing in 1994. I was contacted by a colleague that I had worked with at Brown-Forman, and they were actually on the board of directors for Jones Soda. And I remember it was around the end of the year, it was around holiday time, and he said, if you can get these 5 products fixed and give us 5 new flavors in the next 20 days, we'll give you an extra $10,000.
It was a crazy 2 weeks because we had to do all of the development work, get all of the concentrates developed, and really get those to market very, very quickly.
At one point, they were probably over 80% of our business, which is not a good business practice to be in and something we learned from.
Jones Soda actually changed the way we operated because they asked us to do things that we hadn't done before. They asked us to find them new contract manufacturers and to go to those places to see if they could actually manufacture Jones Soda. And so we kind of set up all these contract manufacturers all over the country and Canada. They also asked us to do all of their quality control. So basically, Pro-Liquitech became the technical arm of their company. And it really allowed us to go out to find other clients or to do things for other clients that we had never done before. And we could make money on that. Those are revenue streams. So they really basically pushed us into doing more for them. And then we were able to offer that to other clients. So we looked around Louisville and thought about where we would like to locate. And at that time, downtown was hopping. Let's go to a location in downtown because we were a growing, creative, kind of young, energetic company. And that's what was happening in downtown Louisville. So we talked to the mayor's office and they gave us a list of all kinds of properties we could look at. And lo and behold, we came up with this building. And there was just something about it, although it was in bankruptcy and foreclosure, there were no windows or doors, there was no running water, there was no electricity. And I remember thinking, oh my God, this is the best building ever. We should take this building. I was the only one out of all the employees, all of my coworkers who thought this was a good idea.
When we first bought the building coming in here and seeing what it looked like before, it was crazy. The upstairs is what freaked me out. It was room after room, dark paneling. I just remember that. And there was one room that was like, looked like it had an axe chopped through the wall and like something red on the wall. And I was just like, ooh.
And I remember, once we got in here, it was so big.
Just the lab itself, I mean, it was cavernous when we moved in there, and it was like, we'll never fill this place up. I mean, it was funny. I mean, we were moving stuff around and just trying to make it look fuller at the time when we moved in because it looked so empty.
It just opened up everything. And when you work in an environment in which it feels like the sky's the limit because of space, the sky becomes the limit.
That day was very interesting. I mean, I remember coming to work, raining cats and dogs out.
By the time I pull into the side parking lot, I actually had water rolling up the hood of my Jeep.
I was over here at this bench, working. Next thing you know, water starts coming up from the drains in the floor. Water's coming under the walls. A few feet of water at the front door, and it's piled up against the glass at the front door. And Scott Reed in the back is banging to let him in.
And I was like knocking on the door, let me in. And they were like, no, we can't let you in, it's gonna flood. Well, they were already standing in, 4 inches of water, and I had like, 1.5 feet of water at least out there, maybe 2 feet of water.
And I could not let him in, but I knew if I did, that all this water was gonna rush in. That water was rushing in from everywhere anyways.
We decided we had to abandon ship. So we all hopped in, I left my car, we all hopped in John's SUV, which I think was parked further back.
By the time we left, it was like, I don't know, mid-thigh high.
Dave was traveling. I remember talking to him and saying, it's not that bad. There's nothing you can do about it. Just we'll figure it out when you get back. Well, of course, it was a catastrophic event.
So I fly back in, and I think I know they got some water, and I get close to Flavorman, and I see all these piles of stuff like outside the front door. The front door was wide open. I pull around and park in the parking lot. All the doors to the building were open. There's a big dumpster that the stuff is in. I walk in and I'm walking around. It was like a war zone. And I thought, oh my God, and I mean this flood, it's terrible. I can see things all over the place. The production area looked terrible.
We had all these dry blends that were on skids, and the boxes just completely collapsed and fell in, and just so much stuff just falling over. It stunk.
I was thinking at the time, like, I just can't take it anymore. Like, this is the last straw for me. We'd been through the downturn, and we got through that, and finally things are looking up, and now this big flood. I felt like just turning around and just flying somewhere. I had a million frequent flyer points. I could be long gone. One of my coworkers walks out and she says, oh my God, can you believe this place? But don't worry about it. We've got everything under control. We're on the second floor doing product development so our clients won't know. And we've developed teams to clean up, and we've, got everything ready to roll. So good to see you, and go on in and they'll tell you what your assignment is. Everybody's got assignments. And I went in the bathroom and I cried my eyes out because I was ready to just hang it up. I was done. And here was a coworker, basically probably scared to death for her job, or all of our jobs in this company, let me know everything's just fine. So I got myself together, and and I came out and I found out what my assignment was. And we spent a good month and a half, maybe 2 months, cleaning up. So, just another lesson learned. It's not all about myself and this company. This is truly a team, and I'm just part of it. What I found was a conference full of people who were interested in building and running their own craft distilleries with all kinds of questions, all kinds of questions and all kinds of money, but nowhere to get anything answered. And I thought, hey, we could put together some kind of a business in Louisville to show people how to open and operate their own distilleries, their craft distilleries. So the idea came out of a trip to Portland, Oregon.
There was no model out there. There wasn't another distillery school that had done this, and we said, oh, so these are the things that need to be included. So it was a real process to figure that out. So of course, kind of our initial focus was, okay, we got to learn how to run this thing so that we can teach people how to run it, and we got to find people that can come in and teach that side of it. Yeah, the first class was very exciting. We'd put a lot of work into it, and we were scared to death.
I think we went to I think it was the second class Moonshine University ever put on. That was I think that was in 2013. So our building was probably under construction or getting close to being under construction. We had formalized all the design and approvals and things. But we were looking to just learn as much as we possibly could to arm ourselves, to be prepared, for what was to come. And that was just an incredible experience.
Laura Johnson out of You and Yours in San Diego. I remember when she came through class, she was passionate and energetic, and she had such a different business model that I don't want to say we were worried, but we're like, okay, well, there's no real model you're following here. And she didn't care about selling it outside the distillery at first. She's like, in California, I can have a cocktail bar. I'm going to sell everything I make by the drink out of my location. Okay, and then cut to when she opens, top-rated cocktail bar in San Diego, can't make enough spirits to supply your own bar, and selling it by the drink out of your own bar, your margins are a lot better than going through the three-tier. People come through here and they think there's only one way to get in business, and I've got to buy a still, I got to do this, and they don't realize that, one, how much a distillery costs, and how much work it is. And really all they want is a brand. And they learn that that's an option. You can just have a brand. And working with someone like Flavorman is a great way to do that without having to spend untold millions and years of your life building a distillery.
So when you move into a building this big, it seems like you'll never fill it up. And then you fill it up. And it happens faster than you think. It feels like almost overnight. And right now it's so full, we can't even hire any additional employees because there's literally nowhere to put anybody. And now that we're building right next to this Flavorman building, 27,000 square feet, now I know that even though it looks really big and it'll feel cavernous for a short time, we'll fill up that building too, because when a business grows, you need space.
I've been here for 13 years now. Flavorman has world-class people. We have a world-class process. We have world-class products. And we've been constrained in some ways by the four walls around us. And when I look around here and see what we're going to be capable of, it means that it fits in with everything else that's world-class about Flavorman. So I'm really excited for that.
So now we're going to have a facility that is perfectly sized and perfectly planned out. And I'm excited because all of these years we've hired people to do these jobs, and they did a great job, but always constrained. And when this building is done, we're about to unleash the beast. And now all of these people who've basically trained all these years to really let things go and make things happen, they're going to be able to use all the skills that they've learned all these years to really grow this business. I mean, really, it's just going to open it up in a way that it's never been before.